the Cosmic Busker. My name is Bobby Codey. Do Pentagon documents confirm an alien hybrid breeding program? This comes from livescience.com. It's a mainstream science website. They cover mainstream standard science news articles. So this isn't a website that's dedicated to stranger or UFO phenomenon. This is a mainstream science program, livescience.com. I'm going to post a link down below so you can take a look at the website in this particular news article if you want to. As you can see, the headline reads, UFOs left radiation burns and unaccounted for pregnancies. New Pentagon report claims. This was by articles by Brandon Spector. It was published 5 days ago on LiveScience.com. We're going to go through this article and I'm going to talk about it a little in relation to the UFO phenomenon, both past and present. So let's take a look real quick. Begins, encounters with UFOs have reportedly left Americans suffering from radiation burns and nervous system damage, and even unaccounted for pregnancy, according to a massive database of U.S. government reports recently made public through a Freedom of Information Act request, or FOIA they're called, Freedom of Information Act. The database of documents includes more than 1,500 pages of UFO-related material from the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or ATIP, a secretive U.S. Department of Defense program that ran from 2007 to 2012. Despite never being classified as secret or top secret, the ATIP only became known to the public in 2017 when former program director Luis Elizondo resigned from the Pentagon and released several now infamous videos of an unidentified aircraft moving in seemingly impossible ways to the media. I want to cover this real quick. Many of you may have seen this. Navy photos show a UFO zipping around. It's been on Fox News. It's been on most mainstream newspapers and mainstream news organizations have covered it. Particularly because this guy was a Pentagon employee, and he's seemingly doing this with the government's okay, it seems. The reason I haven't covered this on my particular YouTube channel is because I believe that ultimately we're going to find that this isn't aliens or anything. I think that these craft are actually a secret program, a very, very deep black budget program by the U.S. government. I think that these are our spacecraft. I don't think that they're UFOs or aliens from another planet or what have you. And the reason I believe that is because I don't think that they would be telling us about this otherwise. I think ultimately deep in the secret bowels of the United States government, whoever approved this, and for Luis Elizondo to come out with this, is because they know that that's our stuff. Okay? If they believed it was really aliens coming here, they still wouldn't. They would not be covering this at all, and it would be kept secret. That's my opinion. That's why I haven't covered this. But I want to go forward with this article and talk a little bit more about this. Shortly after the ATIP's existence was revealed, the U.S. outpost of the British tabloid The Sun filed a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act request, for any and all documents related to the program. 4 years later, on April 5, 2022, just last week, the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency honored the request by releasing more than 1,574 pages of material to The Sun. According to The Sun, the cache of documents includes reports on the biological effects of UFO sightings on humans, studies on advanced technologies such as invisibility cloaks, and plans for deep space exploration and colonization. Some portions of the documents were withheld in part for privacy and confidentiality concerns, ATIP told The Sun. One standout document from the collection is a report titled Anomalous Acute and Subacute Field Effects on Human and Biological Tissues, dated March 2010. The report describes alleged injuries to human observers by anomalous advanced aerospace systems, some of which may be a threat to United States interests, according to the document. One thing I want to talk about real quick, and I neglected I skipped over it. It talks about deep space exploration and colonization. There's many of us who believe that we already are colonizing Mars and potentially other planets in the solar system. And it's part of the secret space program. I've done a video on the secret space program. I'll throw a link up to it over there somewhere. You'll see it pop up in the corner. I think it's going to be that way. So plans for colonization, it's already happened. And that shows me that one part of the government doesn't know what the other hand's doing. Okay. So let's move on to more on this article. The report describes 42 cases from medical files and 300 unpublished cases where humans sustained injuries after alleged encounters with anomalous vehicles, which include UFOs. In some cases, humans showed burn injuries or other conditions related to electromagnetic radiation, the report said. Some of them appearing to have been inflicted by energy-related propulsion systems. The report also noted cases of brain damage, nerve damage, heart palpitations, and headaches related to anomalous vehicle encounters. It is unclear what kind of vetting process, if any, the ATIP used to investigate these alleged cases. The Sun has yet to share the full contents of the requested reports. The report also includes a list of alleged biological effects of UFO sightings on human observers between 1873 and 1994, compiled by the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON, a civilian nonprofit group that studies reported UFO sightings. The reported effects of UFO encounters include unaccounted for pregnancy, apparent abduction, paralysis, and experiences of perceived telepathy, teleportation, and levitation. That's been one of the reports in particular, there's a group of remote viewers called Farsight. And essentially, Dr. Brown, who runs Farsight, Dr. Courtney Brown, he talks about how, they started, trying to do remote viewing on a whole bunch of subjects of interests to humanity. And wherever they went, they found aliens. Everywhere. Well, let's look at the Great Pyramids. Aliens did it. Let's look at the moon. There's aliens on the moon. I mean, just everywhere he went. Let's look at what makes human leaders, global leaders like Putin or President of the United States, let's see what makes them choose, why they're choosing this. They find alien influence, that the aliens are using telepathy to influence human leaders. Okay? The reason I'm bringing that up is because, according to Dr. Courtney Brown, any alien species, extraterrestrial species, telepathy is a standard. They have the ability to communicate with their minds, and they don't need to use speech. Let's see what else we got here. The report concludes that there is sufficient evidence to support a hypothesis that some advanced systems are already deployed and opaque to full U.S. understandings. I just want to talk about, I want to throw my viewers to a a particular movie. It's actually, you can rent it here on YouTube too. If I'm able to, I'll throw up a link up there or up there to this movie, Fire in the Sky. It's a 1993 movie. YouTube has it that you can rent or buy it. Rent or buy. The movie, I'll summarize the movie real quick. The movie covers, it's a somewhat fictional. It's not right on with what happened, but it covers the general topic of what happened to a gentleman by the name of Travis Walton. Travis Walton was a lumberjack in Arizona, I believe it was. And in 1975, him and 3 or 4 or 5, I'm not sure the number, it was about a handful of lumberjacks were on their way to do their thing deep in the woods, in the forests, trees all around. And they come to a clearing and they see this light in the sky. And like, what the heck is this? All of them saw it. Travis Walton gets out of their truck and boom, beam of light shoots down and draws him up into the UFO, as you see depicted here in the flyer for Fire in the Sky. The guys left in the truck, the rest of the lumberjacks freaked out. They're like, oh my God, they got the hell out of there. I think then they decided, oh, we got to go back for him. Couldn't find him anywhere. Ultimately, they went back to town. Everybody's like, hey, where's Travis Walton? These guys, the authorities thought maybe these lumberjacks had killed Travis Walton. Where is he? And then like 3 or 4 days later, Travis Walton appears, I think naked and covered in slime on the side of the road. It's a very, very bizarre story. Now, the reason I bring this up, matter of fact, let me go over here. This is Travis Walton. You can do research on him. Matter of fact, if I remember, I'll post some links to the Travis Walton story in case you haven't heard about it. You can read up on it. Now, one reason I bring this up, and I just want to talk about this a little, and it relates to Luis Elizondo, and while I don't believe Luis Elizondo necessarily is investigating real alien UFOs, I believe ultimately, whether he knows it or not, he's investigating United States government craft that use this alien technology. One of the reasons I believe this is because this 1993 movie, Fire in the Sky, covered up some of the facts. In the movie, they said there's like aliens and typical alien grays with the weird eyes. That's who abducts him, and that's who you see in the movie. But that's not who Travis Walton said was there. I think, if I remember correctly, there were those grays, but he also reported tall, blonde, Nordic aliens. Look just like humans, tall, blondes. And he says they were part of the abduction team as well. Now, there is reports of Nordic aliens abducting people. I'm not saying that that's not the truth. Maybe they are aliens, and that's been reported and confirmed, in various ways. And I'm not saying that they're not aliens, but you have to ask, why didn't the movie include that? They didn't want any potential that there could be actual humans involved in the abduction process as well, which has been suggested by some people that these UFO abductions are actually military. Number 2, it also goes into what I plan on doing a video on as well, and that's that during World War II, it's claimed that Nazis knew they were going to lose World War II towards the end, and they took all of their high-tech stuff and fled to Antarctica. And they created a base in Antarctica, deep, deep under the ice in Antarctica, where caves exist. Huge, massive caves where you can put a city in, which it is alleged they did in the different bases. And it's like 70 degrees because of the geothermal, the volcanic geothermal activity keeps these caves nice and warm at 70 degrees. Again, there's articles in regard to this too on mainstream science publications regarding the existence of these caves and that they're there. So my suggestion is that this may tie in as well, and that the Nordic aliens may not really be Nordic aliens. They're the Nazis who were down in Antarctica and survived. Again, this will be a new video that I'm doing in the future. I'll cover this whole big topic. So that's it. I believe that's all I need to cover on this. Everybody, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I hope to have a lot more videos coming for you. It's been difficult to record in my current circumstances, but I do my best to try to find the privacy to go ahead and record, and that's why I'm doing this right now. Thanks for watching, everybody.